Hi everyone, welcome to another Dynamics 365 Business Central General Ledger Setup discussion. So today I'm going to discuss a little bit important fields in General Ledger Setup table. So let's go to that table and I'll show you what are the fields which we are going to discuss. I'm going to discuss a few fields today. So one is invoice rounding precision and invoice rounding type, amount rounding precision, amount decimal places, unit amount rounding precision, unit amount decimal places. These 6 fields I'm going to discuss with you today with small examples. So let's discuss the first field, invoice rounding precision. If I click on invoice rounding precision field, we can see the description why we are using this field. Actually, we are using this field for set up the rounding precisions for your invoices. It can be either sales invoice, purchase invoice, whatever. The amounts you can see with the 2 decimals. So let me show you invoice. Okay, this is how you can see this. Right. We have set up it as invoice rounding precision 0.1, which means for 2 decimals. So if I go to this sales order, we can see the invoice values 2 decimals. And important thing is, when you are set up company in the very first time, you will have to set up these things, and if you set up here as a 0.1, you cannot increase this value. So if I show you here, so if you increase it, system will give you error. Your entry of 0.001 is not an acceptable value. Acceptable value for invoice rounding precision. The field can have maximum 2 decimal places. Reason for that is we have set up it before as 2 decimals. Hence that you cannot set up you cannot increase invoice rounding precisions once you set up it. And next one, the invoice rounding type. So I'm not going to deeper level because you know what are the meaning of these things, and if you click on this field, you can get the information related to it. And we have 3 options for the invoice rounding types. One is nearest one, and up and down. So if you have value 0.4, 0.5, if you select as up, so you will get next value, next 0.04. If you select 0.04, you will get 0.1, and if you click down, and you will get down value. Likewise, you have a different option here. And the amount rounding positions, this is also the same as the invoice rounding positions. In the order or whatever, the amount you can set up with the 2 decimals. And other thing, this amount round precision and amount decimal places 2 is 2, which means you can, if you read this, you can get small understand. But if it's hard to understand the meaning of this, you can go for a maximum 2 decimals and minimum 2 decimals. That's the meaning. Now I know, now you will have issue, you will have doubt. If we set up here in invoice rounding precision 0.1, and we can go for a 5 decimals, we can go for a, let's say, 3 decimals. Minimum 2 decimals and maximum 3 decimals. So if you give here 3 decimals in the invoice or order, you can go up to 3 decimals. But once you get the amount, you will get only with 2 decimals. That's the difference between these two, because otherwise you will get complete. We have set up here as a 2 decimals, but we can go for 3 decimals. Yes, you can enter 3 decimals, but it's get rounding for 2 decimals in the invoice one. I clicked here 0 here. 2 is to 3. So right, sorry, if I give here as 100 into, now I'm going to give 4 decimals. If so, system give you error, which is your entry of 0.100.888 is not an acceptable value for line amount in tax. The field can have maximum 2 decimal places. It's because we have set up here as a 2 decimals. So this is why I have set up here to 3 decimals, but it's not refreshed. That's why it's showing as a 2 decimals. How it works? So it's not refreshed actually. We have refreshed once we change the setups. And however, this is the ultimate purpose of this setup. This you can enter minimum 2 decimals, and you can go to minimum 3 decimals. And amount rounding precisions. Unit amount rounding precision also same as this. So if you enter any value with the unit amount precisions, you can go up to 0. You can rounding for 2 decimals, but you can enter here 2 minimum and 2 maximum decimal places. This is what we have. This is what the meaning of these 6 field. It's kind of difficult to understand and kind of difficult to set up these fields when we are implementing projects for this with these decimals. But very important, generally set up fields, these rounding precisions and the decimal places setup. So when you are creating company, when you are implementing company, please do give more concern on this setup, and you better get approval from the CFO or finance managers about these fields and how many decimal places we need to go, what are the rounding precisions, those stuff, and better to implement like that way. So this is what the mean of these 6 fields, and let me submit another video. Until that, thank you very much.